Hey everyone, welcome back to another D French guitar lesson. Today I'm going to teach the beginning guitarists how to play a very simple blues riff that's going to make them sound like a pro and immediately offer them opportunities to play with other like-minded musicians. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look at a very simple 1-4-5 chord progression. And 1-4-5 just means in the key of A that we're going to be doing this in. We got our 1 chord, and then we go 4 chord, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 chord. 1, 1, 2, 4, 5, 4, 1. Okay. But instead of playing them up here for the beginning guitar, sometimes it's easier to play it down here where you only need 1 or 2 fingers to be able to play the riff. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover our A here with our first finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then our open A here is our root. Up to our D, and all we're going to do to go from the A to the D is we're going to move our first finger up 1 string, and we're going to put our pick on the 4th string. We're going to play that together. Okay, then we're going to go back to A by just simply moving our first finger down. And then on the 5 chord, which is our E, we're going to move our finger down here to the 5th string and play the open 6th and the 5th. Okay, that's our 5 chord. And we're going back to our 4 chord, which is our D, which is our first finger on the 3rd string. And then back to our 1 chord. And then we're going to do what's called a turnaround. We're going to play the 5 chord, which leads us back to that 1 chord. So we got our E, back to our 1. So I'm just going to play this without the riff. I'm just going to keep my first finger here, and I'm going to count it out as a 12-bar blues. And what a 12-bar blues means is we're just playing 12 measures, and then we're going to turn around and go back and play another 12. And how we count that is we're going to do 4 measures on the A, and then we're going to do 2 measures on the D, 2 measures back on the A, and then 1 measure on the E, 1 on the D, and 1 on the A, 1 on the E, turn around and go back to the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to count this out. It's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, 9, 2, 3, 4, 10, 2, 3, 4, 11, 2, 3, 4, 12, 2, 3, 4, and then back to the beginning. That's our turnaround. So that's why they call it the 12-bar blues, and it's the most common sort of open jam riff or counting you'll be doing as a beginning guitarist when you start playing with other musicians. Okay, so now instead of just playing these simple, these are called power chords because we're just playing the 1 and the 5. And power chords are very common in rock and metal and even in pop music you'll have them a lot. We're just doing these simple power chords, but instead of just staying on the 1-5, we're going to alternate between the 5 and the 6. And that's just going to mean our 3rd finger is going to reach up here to the 4th fret of each string that your finger's on. Okay, so how we do this is we're going to count it the same way, and on the 2 and the 4 of each measure, we're going to be adding the 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go to that D, and we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the A. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. E, 2, 3, 4. And back to the A. Okay, so that's the most basic beginning guitarist blues riff you'll ever use, but it works in so many different situations. And if you get other players together, it's an easy thing just to jump in and start to jam to. Of course, as you get better at the guitar, you'll start learning more options as far as, playing seventh chords or playing riffs. And we're going to look at a riff at the end of this video on how to kind of take that playing to the next level. Okay, so let's just kind of do it with a beat here. And we're going to put a swing to it. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. 6, 2, 3, 4. 7, 2, 3, 4. 8, 2, 3, 4. 9, 2, 3, 4. 10, 12, 3, 4, 1, back to the 1. Alright, so that's the 12-bar blues riff, and that's just in the key of A, so we don't have to move up the fretboard yet. And that's just kind of getting you introduced to this first position chord change. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at taking that same 1-4-5 chord progression, 12-bar blues, but instead of playing it here in the first position, we're going to move it this way up the fretboard. And by doing this, we got to find our root notes. Okay, so our first root is obviously our A. We started with that already. Okay, and then our 4 chord, which is a D, our root's going to be here on the 5th fret. Okay, and then our next one is E, and that's going to be here on the 7th fret. Back to D, back to open A. Okay, so we got our 1, 4, 5, 4, 1. And you can play that this way. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're just going to take those roots and we're going to walk a line up, just kind of creating a box shape here by just starting here on the root. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our 3rd finger here on the 2nd fret. We're not going to leave it there. We're going to slide it up here to the 4th fret. So it's 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And when you're sliding, kind of think of pushing air out of an air mattress where you're keeping that note moving forward. You got to keep that pressure on the string because you're only going to play it one time with your right hand. So if I'm playing this first part of this lick or this riff, my left hand has to take over and keep that note going. And then we're just going to walk up 2, 4, 2. So we're going to put it together 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. Then after we've played our 4 times on the A, we're going to go up to the 4 chord, which is our D. Now in this one, since we're not starting on an open, we're going to put our 1st finger here on the root, and then the same thing with our 3rd finger. So it's 1 and put your 3rd finger on the 7 and slide it to the 9, 7, 9, 7. That 2 times, so each one of those is 1 measure or 1 bar. So then you're going to go back to the A 2 times. Then we're going to go up here to the E, which is our 1st finger on the 7th fret, and that's our root. Same pattern. Guitar is all about patterns. You just do the same thing, just in a different place, on a different chord. So now we're doing it on the 5 chord, which is our E. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Do that 1 time, back to the D. And then back to the A. And then on the 5 turnaround. And then back to the beginning. Okay, so let's put a B behind that for a second. 1-4-5 chord progression in the key of A. We started off doing it here in the first position with all open strings or open roots. And then we took it vertically or horizontally and we started moving it up the fretboard. And this is a good way to start to learn your fretboard. So now you know that your open A, this is your D, and this is your E. And that's going to be very important in a future lesson when we're learning about bar chords and how to find those bar chords with those roots on the 5th and 6th string. Okay, so I hope you found this useful. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, and feel free to comment and let me know what you thought of the video.